Hey all you super players out there, Ben Lodice aka 5 Buck Lunch, coming at you with a nice little preview video today. We're going to go over the Destroyer and Angel rares for the new Draft Box 5 that's coming out next week. Some of these cards are really cool. They're some of the cards I'm most excited about, which is interesting because we didn't get them previewed till last. But there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, including new energy mechanics and some things that are going to really help some of the Tier 2 decks right now. So let's start off with green-yellow. There's 2 for each color combination, so that's 10 total, 12 total, because I can't count. First off is Hellas and Sawyer Universe 2. It's a 2-drop 16k. They all have energy exhaust, and then when placing this card in your energy from any area, you may choose one green card and one yellow card in your drop area, send them to your warp. If you do, negate this card's energy exhaust skill. So there's a card for each color combination that has this mechanic, and basically it means that later in the game, you can charge them without having them come and play tapped, which is really nice. It's a good way to allow us to play more cards that come and play untapped for multicolor energy without it being overpowered where you can charge it turn 1. If you noticed, all the mechanics they brought out so far is to prevent us from charging turn 1 multicolors, because that opens up a lot of like weird rush decks to just be really, really consistent. That being said, it's really interesting. You're basically, if you play these, you're going to have your energy costs like all the time now. It's just super easy to do. But yeah, and then all of the energy cards like this also have a skill. So this active main skill is once per turn for 1 green, 1 yellow. Choose up to 2 green or yellow battle cards with energy cost 2 or less. Play them with their skills negated for the turn. Your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop area. So another interesting thing with all these energy cards is they all have utility effects that cost 2 energy. And they're all pretty good effects. So if you play them and they're not gotten rid of immediately, they're going to get a lot of advantage. This one plays cards from your hand, which is interesting. I'm not entirely sure what deck this is supposed to go into, but it's definitely a mechanic that in the future could be very good. And then Belmond and Margarita, Universe 11 Destroyer and Angel. It's a 7-drop with dual attack and successor for 2 green and a yellow. So in this version, we've got a new successor card, which is a 7 cost, which we didn't have a generic 7 cost successor before. Auto, if you have 5 or more energy when you play this card, your opponent chooses 3 cards in their hand and places them in their drop area. So this seems really good, like at first, but then you realize the 5 or more energy thing is really like hampering for this. I was really excited about this card until I read that it's basically a late game card and your opponent gets to choose the card. So I really don't like this effect as much. The other auto is when this card is removed from your battle area by opponent's skill, choose any number of battle cards in your drop area with energy cost 2 or less, which total costs add up to 4 or less, and play them with their skills negated for the turn. So it's interesting. You could stick this in like a Universe 11 successor deck or something like that, because of the fact that uh, it recurs a whole bunch of battle cards, so you can get your barrier guy, your Carousel, things like that back when it dies. The downside is it's only your opponent's skill, so if you successor it away, you don't get anything. Also, like I said, the 5 or more energy is kind of debilitating too, but it's interesting that we got a 7-drop successor, which we didn't have before. Next up is blue-green. We'll do the energy first. So, oh god, I'm gonna probably mispronounce a lot of these, by the way. Rumushi and Kausu, Universe 10 Destroyer and Angel. When placing this card, it has the same effect where you can warp a blue and a green card in your drop to make it come in without energy exhaust. And then its active main skill is 1 blue, 1 green, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, KO it, and draw a card. So I like this card a lot. It's just a lot of really good utility, and it's nice because no matter what deck you stick it in, like no matter what kind of blue-green deck, it's going to have some sort of utility. And also it basically reads, you could consider it a 4-drop 16k that kills a card and draws a card, which isn't even bad by itself. So yeah, it's just going to sit there and generate advantage so long as your opponent doesn't get rid of it. Another important thing is it's up to one of your opponent's battle cards, so you can just use it to draw a card once per turn if you want to. Mosco and Campari, Universe 3 Destroyer and Angel, is a 5-drop with blocker, revive blue-green. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. Auto KO this card when your opponent plays a battle card, draw a card. This card is actually really cool. It's a really good payoff card for the for like a ramp deck, like the old Android 16 that ramps card. This could be a really good endgame for it, because how Revive Blue-Green works is when your opponent plays a card, you can KO this card, draw a card, and then discard a card to revive blue-green it. Since it comes back in play, you get to immediately KO a card. So it essentially reads, when your opponent plays a card, draw 1, discard 1, KO 1 of their battle cards. And then it has blocker in a pinch too. It would be better if it had barrier or some kind of protection where your opponent couldn't just get rid of it, but it's reasonably hard to get rid of. 25k is a big deal because you can't just neg 20 it, which a lot of cards do. So a very interesting payoff card. I like this card a lot. We'll have to see it actually sees play or not, though. On to blue-yellow. Iwani and Iwamo, Universe 1, Destroyer and Angel. Active main for 1 blue, 1 yellow. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of the deck. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. This is one of the best ones. In my opinion, some of the best ones are the blue-yellow ones. The ability to essentially for free choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring like any sort of energy costs or anything, and just put it on the bottom of the deck is very strong. And the fact that it's basically free because you're going to untap 2 on your opponent's next turn is very, very good. This is one of the best energy Angel Destroyers. And then I really like this one too. Jean and Martine, Universe 12 Destroyer and Angel, is a 3-drop counterplay. If a battle card being played has energy cost of 5 or less, negate the skills for the turn and play this card. So it's a Frost Deadly Poison that doesn't put him in rest mode, but it only hits 5 or less, which to be fair is a lot of the cards in the game right now. It also has Aegis blue-yellow once per turn, which this mechanic was almost never used competitively. So for those of you that don't know, Aegis means when your opponent attacks, you can discard a blue card and a yellow card or a blue-yellow card to untap 2 of your energy. So pretty solid, but it was never on a card that was actually good. So it also has auto once per turn. When you activate Aegis blue-yellow, draw 2 cards. So it is a semi-restricted like freezes or Frost Deadly Poison that once it comes into play, when your opponent attacks, you can discard a card to untap 2, draw 2, which is very, very good. All of those mechanics are really good, and it's been shown that in this game, the ability to deny your opponent's battle card effects is incredibly powerful. So I think this is one of the best cards. Next on to blue-red. Champa and Vados, Universe 6 Destroyer and Angel, has the energy ability. And then active main for red-blue. Return this card to its owner's hand. Choose up to 1 extra card in your deck with energy cost 3 or more. Add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. This one's okay. It's not great. You might play 1 or 2 in your like Invoker deck, but it's pretty mediocre for the amount of energy that you have to play it. I mean, I guess it can search out like the red-blue card that does 1 damage if you're trying to win with that mechanic. But that's about all it's really useful for. This one's pretty good, though. Beerus and Weiss, Universe 7, Destroyer and Angel. It's a 4-drop 20k with Blocker and Invoker. Auto, if you have 3 or more energy, one of your red-blue battle cards are removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill. Play this card from your hand, and you can't play another copy for the turn. So this is really good because it means you can drop the Vegeta, Invoker Vegeta on turn 3, and if your opponent immediately gets rid of it, you can drop this in play, and at least you're protected for that turn. Since a lot of times you're dropping that Vegeta and a Surge Awakening so you can untap 1, it helps defend yourself a little bit more. And then auto, if it's your opponent's turn, when you play this card at the end of your turn, place this card at the bottom of its owner's deck from the battle area, draw 1 card. So this is a way for us to make it a little more fair, because if it just came in play for free, honestly, it would be kind of overpowered. So it comes in play, protects you for the turn, then goes to the bottom of the deck and draws a card. So it's basically just a way to put 1 more Invoker on the board, so if they get rid of the 1, you're not like completely out of luck. Red-yellow next. Quinta and Cognac, Universe 7 Destroyer and Angel. This card's actually pretty cool. It doesn't have the energy mechanic. Oh, the other one. Sorry, I got mixed up because they're both 2-drops. It has Energy Exhaust and Offering, and that's it. So literally it's just a 2-drop with Offering, which I actually think is really good. It's basically a 2-drop 20k that draws 2 cards, which is very solid, and there's nothing wrong with it. Sidra and Mojito, Universe 9, Destroyer and Angel. So this is the energy one. And then it has the active main skill. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards or energy, switch it to rest mode, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. I guess it makes 20k for the turn. Very solid effect. Both parts of it are good. You'll probably see a little play. Next, lastly, we have the red-green, which has the best card in my opinion, but we'll go with the energy first. So it has red-green. This card gets plus 14k power and double strike until the end of your next main phase. I don't know. I think that's pretty mediocre. It's almost good enough. Being at 2 energy is pretty expensive for that effect. But we'll see. It's definitely not terrible. Having a 30k double strike isn't bad. And then this is my favorite card out of all the Angel Destroyers. Liqueur and Korun, Universe 8 Destroyer and Angel. It has a 5-drop 20k critical Alliance red green. And so when it attacks, you can tap other red and green cards to increase their power, but increase his power by the power of those cards. When this card gains power, oh, it actually has, okay, this card gains power equal to the total number of cards switched to decimal by the skill, and then you draw 2 cards and choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 20k. So when it attacks, you tap one of your own battle cards, draw 2 cards, choose 2 of your opponent's cards, minus 20k. That's a lot of really good skills tacked onto one card. And if your leader card is red and you have red or green battle card in play, reduce energy cost in your hand by 2. So it's a 3-drop that when it attacks, draw 2 cards, choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, minus 20k. And the reason I think this is so good is because it pairs extremely well with the Broly Surge Leader, because you can go attack. If you have an empty board, 3 energy, you can go attack, use the super combo, the Nappa super combo, the red-green one, draw a card from your Broly effect. The Nappa super combo comes in play when it's used, so that's a red-green battle card in play. So now you can put this guy in play for 3, attack, and tap your Nappa again to give him plus 10k and trigger the ability. It also works really well with the, I think it's a Gogeta, the red 4-drop Gogeta that comes in play when you put in play a 5-drop red-green, and then when it's tapped for Alliance, does a damage to your opponent. So you can add on combo even more, play Nappa that, drop the Vegeta. This is all on 3 energy. Attack. This is attacking at 45 critical, and then you get to draw 2 cards and neg 20k 2 of your opponent's cards, which is really, really good. So yeah, this card I think is the best Angel Destroyer, and I'm definitely 100% going to be trying the Broly Surge deck again with this card in there. I think it adds an extra aspect to it that is ridiculously good, and it's going to be tier 1. But we'll see. You think I'm crazy? You not think Lacroix and Corrin is the best one? You think another one's the best one? What do you think about the new energy mechanic? Does it make mill decks a lot better? Because leaders with burst and other mill mechanics now have access to even more multicolor energy. So yeah, a lot of interesting things in here. Please like, subscribe, check out the Patreon, check out the Discord, and go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.